Soft morning light fills the room as the day begins inside the ducal residence. A maid gently greets the lady of the house, her voice careful not to disturb the peaceful atmosphere. "Good morning, my lady." Sisha slowly wakes, still half asleep. Yes, my lady." The maid tilts her head, checking if her mistress had already risen earlier. "Were you awake, Your Grace?" Sisha answers calmly. "Yes, my lady." The maid smiles warmly, glancing out toward the bright morning sky. "Yes, it is a beautiful morning." She watches as Sisha rubs her eyes sleepily, the sight almost too adorable. "Look at rub her eyes just like a cat." The maid quietly admires her. "How can a person be as cute as a newborn kitten?" Sisha blinks in confusion. Just then, a voice calls from outside the door. "You may enter." The servant steps inside and bows respectfully. "Your Grace, you have a guest from Allaire." Sisha immediately notices the mischievous smile on Rennie's face. Rennie only smiles like that when she's planning something. Rennie smiles like that on only one occasion. And that is when she has something up her sleeve. Sisha sighs slightly but remains curious. "A guest, you say?" "I don't dislike it." But then the memory of earlier events makes her cheeks warm with embarrassment. "Still, it's embarrassing. Everyone in the hallway witnessed our kiss." Her eyes widen as a realization strikes. "Wait. Everyone in the hallway?" She begins recalling the people who were present. "I see two people. The first is the servant who came to fetch me. And the other person." She suddenly remembers. "Oh. You're Roynus Shao, aren't you?" The man bows slightly. "Yes, master. They are waiting for you in the sitting room." Sisha sighs deeply. Why am I in the same room with that pervert, Rennie?" Rennie casually waves it off. "I'll explain when we get inside, master." They begin walking as Rennie explains the situation. "I found him unconscious at the entrance of the merchant group." Sisha responds coldly without hesitation. "You should have let the pedestrians tread all over him." Rennie gasps dramatically. "How can you be so cold, master?" A cheerful voice suddenly interrupts. "I miss you." Sisha's expression instantly darkens. "One more step and I'll kill you myself." But the man only smiles more brightly. "I would die happy if death came by your hands." The man standing there is Bianca Norrell, vice master of the assassin group, 30 years old. Sisha grimaces inwardly. "Ugh. I know he means what he says." Bianca looks at her with exaggerated affection. "Didn't you miss me, master?" Sisha snaps immediately. "Why would I miss a perverted man like you?" Bianca chuckles playfully. "Don't play coy. Show me your beautiful face, master." Another voice scolds him. "Bangs, shame on you for covering my master's beautiful face." Sisha immediately defends herself. "I'm covering my face because of perverts like you." Her tone becomes sharp as she reminds him of his responsibilities. "You are my second in command, yet here you are, neglecting your duties." Bianca's eyes light up mischievously. "Oh, are you going to punish me for leaving my post?" He spreads his arms dramatically. "I'll take whatever you dish out. Please open the gates to hell." Sisha mutters under her breath. "Sick bastard." She finally gets to the real question. "What brings you to Chai?" Bianca sighs. "I had no choice but to come. You know I can't go a day without looking at your face." Sisha cuts him off immediately. "Shut your trap. Why are you really here?" Bianca finally grows serious. "Eli was attacked." The room goes quiet. "They thought Eli was you, oh beautiful one," Sisha narrows her eyes. What are the chances that it was another assassin group? Bianca shakes his head. None. No one knows of your true identity. Then he sighs dramatically again. And that is why I don't get to see you as much as I'd want. We must be star-crossed. Sisha ignores the theatrics and focuses on the implication. That means they wish to assassinate me, a duke. Bianca shrugs casually. Who would want to kill off a stupid duke? He continues thinking aloud. Were they coveting the land that was bestowed upon you? Upon your death, your land would be passed off to another noble. He glances at Sisha seriously. There are many nobles out to get you, master. Sisha nods slightly. I agree. There's no reason for them to kill off an idiot. She quickly corrects herself. I mean, someone playing the role of dimwit, master. Bianca continues the report. I planted some of our people to guard Eli. And I requested that they capture the assassins alive, so we can find out who's behind this. Sisha nods calmly. Yes. I'm sure we'll find something. Bianca suddenly remembers something else. Oh, and Eli wished for me to relay his message to you, master. Sisha looks up. What is it? Bianca grins. He hopes for your speedy return. He is about to die of boredom. Sisha sighs. He speaks rubbish. Bianca adds one more dramatic statement. One other thing. Your loyal dog Bianca hopes. Before he can finish, Sisha interrupts coldly. Get lost. Bianca clutches his chest dramatically. I was so sick, it will take time for me to make a full recovery. Please don't toss aside your trusty dog, dear master. Someone nearby whispers sympathetically. I feel so sorry for our vice master. But Sisha remains completely unmoved. I don't care about your recovery. Make sure to stay out of my sight. Or you'll be at the receiving end of one of my daggers. Bianca bows with exaggerated elegance. If that is the case, I shall admire you from afar, master. Another voice comments quietly. You'll never find someone as devoted to you as our vice master. Rennie smiles brightly. Rennie, you're so sweet! Suddenly, a new voice enters the room. Huh! What brings you here, my lady? Sisha smiles politely. I heard about your guest, and wish to introduce myself. The man quickly bows. You didn't have to. I know how busy you are, my lady. Sisha immediately protests. I don't want Sisha wasting her time with a pervert like Bianca Norrell. The knight bows respectfully. You must be Her Grace the Duchess of Lunaria. Bianca looks shocked. Dare he? The knight continues respectfully. I don't deserve such a warm welcome, Your Grace. Anju Vita at your service. I was one of the knights that protected His Grace when he was in hiding. Sisha smiles warmly. Of course you deserve a warm welcome. You protected my husband when he needed you most. The knight lowers his head slightly. Your Grace. But Sisha suddenly warns her. Stay away, Sisha. He's the most dangerous of them all. Sisha ignores the warning. You may be seated. Yes, Your Grace. She continues politely. When did you come to Chai? Anju answers. I arrived this morning under His Majesty's orders. I see. Sisha gestures calmly. There is an inn affiliated with our merchant group. Please feel free to stay there if you haven't decided on your lodgings. A servant enters urgently. You have a visitor, Your Grace. A visitor? The servant bows. You may need to go see for yourself. Anju stands to leave. I need to get going. Have a pleasant trip. It was an honor to meet you, Your Grace. Sisha nods. Wait here. Rennie, you follow me. As they walk away, Rennie whispers urgently. My lady! Your Grace? What about Sir Anju? But before she can finish, Sisha wipes her hand with visible disgust. To cleanse your hand. Rennie groans dramatically. Ugh, my poor eyes. Cleanse? Is it because Sir Anju kissed my hand? Sisha frowns slightly. He was merely introducing himself. But a jealous voice suddenly appears behind her. I don't like it. I want to be the only one to lay my lips upon you. Sisha sighs softly. He can be so childish sometimes. But the man continues stubbornly. Only my lips can touch you. There should be no other kissing your hand or cheeks. He looks at her carefully. Am I being too childish, my lady? Sisha smiles gently. Not really. As the morning tension settles, the door opens to reveal another guest. Your Royness Shao, aren't you? His Grace asks, his tone sharpening. Royness offers a polite, if somewhat stiff, apology. Oh, my apologies. He wished for his visit to be a surprise. I had no idea you were in Chai, Your Grace. Yes. It's a pleasure to see you in Chai. His Grace responds, though his eyes tell a different story. Why don't we go to the sitting room? Once seated, Royness doesn't hide his astonishment. I must say I'm quite shocked. I didn't expect to find you in Chai. I had no idea you had left the estate. His Grace leans back, his gaze fixed on Royness. I was away for 3 years, and didn't want to be separated from my wife again. Royness nods, a strange glint in his eyes. I understand how you feel, Your Grace. You miss her when she's out of sight, and wish to be by her side whenever she is around. And you can't help but want to touch her when she is with you. Now that you've come back, I'm sure you want to be together. I get it, Royness adds smoothly. I'm glad I have your understanding, His Grace replies. Did you come here on business? Well, I came to see if Sisha would join me for lunch, Royness explains. Sisha, standing nearby, quickly interjects. I'm sorry. I already have plans. Royness doesn't seem deterred. Don't worry about it. His Grace watches Sisha closely, wondering when she made these plans, but he steps in to take control of the situation. I'll get going now. I have a lot to take care of within the next 2 days, Sisha says, preparing to head back to work. Don't worry, my lady, His Grace reassures her. I'll keep your guest company and see him off. Sisha hesitates. Are you sure, Your Grace? Of course. You can go back to work, my lady. As she leaves, he adds with a playful yet possessive edge. You must finish your work before night comes, so we can go to bed, together. Sisha quickly exits, leaving the two men alone. His Grace turns to Royness. Please forget about what you saw in the hallway earlier. My wife is more shy than she lets on. No worries. I know all about her personality, Royness replies coolly. His Grace bristles at the familiarity. Is that the case? May I ask how the two of you met? Sisha never delved into the details. We first met during the school masquerade, Royness reveals. Of course, Sisha has no clue that it was our first meetup. So our first meeting took place when I interviewed Sisha at an employment agency. Royness continues. It was destiny. Destiny? His Grace repeats. Yes. My wife was stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I was there to help her out, Royness claims. As Royness speaks, His Grace's mind wanders back to the true story of how they met, the part Royness doesn't know. 3 years ago, his assassin group's employment front found Sisha. We found amazing talent on the market, Master, his subordinates had told him. She majored in public administration, with degrees in management and trade. She was top of her class. We should snatch her up before someone else does. He had ordered them to find out why she needed money so desperately. The truth was grim. Her parents, the Poins, wanted to sell her as a concubine to the king of Muvia. She needed 120 million lin to buy her freedom. His Grace knew then she was special. She is someone who needs a proper job. She needs to shine, and let the world know how competent and valuable she is. He saw a spark in her eyes that destined her for greatness. Unlike himself, who moved in the shadows. At the time, he was preparing for a rebellion to avenge his family. He had played the role of a dimwit count, content with a quiet death if it meant his mission succeeded. But everything changed when he met her. He wanted to be near her, to see her as much as possible. Even if he were to face the guillotine as a traitor, he felt his life would be worth it if he lived on in her memories. Back in the present, His Grace snaps back to the conversation. It was love at first sight. And now, here we are. We may have different personalities, but we share the same values. And that's important in a marriage. True, Royness agrees. We're also compatible, in many other areas, His Grace adds pointedly. Royness smiles. I know exactly what you mean, Your Grace. So you felt that way with your wife, too? His Grace asks. I'm still a bachelor, Royness admits. Then you must be referring to the lady you're wooing. It's not that either. It's a one-sided love, Royness says. One-sided, you say? His Grace's inner thoughts turn venomous. What a bastard. Sisha's not only married, but I came back from the dead. And yet he still pines after my wife? He views Royness as trash disguised in a normal exterior. Aloud, he says, That's a surprise. I'm sure you're popular among the ladies. Haha, unfortunately I'm not popular with the lady I'm in love with. Royness laughs. He looks toward the door where Sisha left, a confident smirk appearing on his face. Even still, I have a feeling she'll soon reciprocate my feelings. As Royness's words about Sisha reciprocating his feelings echo in his mind, Mir can barely contain his fury. The bastard just doesn't get it. His assassin's instincts are screaming, and he wonders if Royness is truly insane, or if this is a direct challenge to his life. He remembers the attack on Eli and realizes that while no noble would dare cross the Duke for fear of the king, this man is different. I should hold on to my rage rather than lash out at this moment, he tells himself, though his mind is already racing through more satisfying ways to make Royness suffer. Should I behead him? Or suffocate him? Maybe poison? No, it wouldn't be satisfying enough. He is deep in these dark thoughts of revenge when a voice breaks his concentration. What is it? He asks, startled. Sisha stands before him, looking concerned. I had no idea you were asleep, Your Grace. Yes, I must have dozed off, Mir admits, shaking off the remnants of his murderous daydreams. What? It's time for lunch, she tells him. Mir is surprised. I thought you had an engagement, my lady. Why would you think that? Sisha asks. That's what you told the head of the Forgotten Moon Merchant Group. Sisha offers a small, reassuring smile. Oh, I turned him down because I wanted to have lunch with you, Your Grace. I wasn't in the mood to eat with Royness. A wave of relief and triumph washes over Mir. I see. What do you wish to eat, my lady? Your Grace, I told you not to say things like that. Sisha begins, blushing slightly. Mir can't help but find her reaction endearing. How cute. I wasn't saying that I wanted to eat you. I was about to say something else. Something else? She asks. Yes, my lady. Please refer to me by my first name, like you do to the head of the Forgotten Moon Merchant Group, he requests earnestly. I don't like it when you refer to me as Your Grace. Sisha looks thoughtful. You wish for me to call you by your name? Yes, please call me Mir. We should be more intimate, as we're lovers now. Sisha hesitates, the request catching her off guard. He wants me to call him by his name? Let's see. It's fine, Mir. She remembers a previous conversation and adds, How can you grow wildflowers in the garden, when you're terrified of insects? Mir's heart swells. Sisha! I love you so much, Sisha. What more can I say to express how I feel about you? He leans in closer, his voice dropping. I want to show you all of me, but I don't know how. Won't you teach me, Sisha? That would make things more risque, wouldn't it? Sisha points out, her heart racing. Sisha. I can't live without you, Sisha. Without you, Sisha, I'd... He catches himself, realizing how he must sound. It's rather tempting. I didn't know I had a perverted side to me. Sisha tries to maintain her composure. What do you say? It's not a bad idea, but I'm afraid it won't be possible. I'm used to referring to you as Your Grace. People say I look cold and aloof. Well then. Whatever makes you comfortable, Mir says, though he doesn't fully give up. I shall. You can speak informally if you wish, Your Grace. He repeats her name softly, testing the weight of it. Sisha. 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 Yes? She replies. Mir looks at her with an intensity that makes her pause. I know that look. This is when I need to be on my guard. Please call me by my name. Sisha tries to change the subject. There is a famous pasta restaurant nearby. Why aren't you calling my name, Sisha? He persists. Anyways, why don't we go there? She suggests, finally giving in. Mir. I didn't see you, Mir says, wanting more. You didn't see me? Or didn't hear me? I didn't see your face when you called me by my name. Say it again. Mir, she says again, meeting his eyes. Oh, how sexy. Sisha. As they prepare for lunch, the atmosphere shifts back to the dangers lurking in Chai. A subordinate arrives with news. We found the opium dealer. Good. Find out where he gets his opium from. Mir orders, his Duke persona returning. Hold up. 6 of you will go. I want the Vice Master and the remaining 3 to guard myself and Sisha. Is there something we should know about? The subordinate asks, sensing the Master's edge. Mir thinks of Royness and the threat he represents. Something to know about? Well, there's this bastard, who dared to provoke me. Are they out of their mind? His gaze hardens. Having said that, we may have to defend ourselves against the assassins of Chai. Get ready to hunt. Night falls quietly over the residence, but the calm atmosphere hides something far more dangerous moving behind the scenes. Inside a dimly lit room, Mir speaks calmly to one of his subordinates, outlining the next step of his plan. Get ready for the hunting game. The subordinate listens carefully as Mir continues explaining. The hunting game. He pauses for a moment before clarifying. It's when we purposely release our prey, to spy and gather information on them. The subordinate's eyes narrow with curiosity. Did Master uncover something important? Mir nods slightly, his expression sharp. You shall act as hunter. Then he gives the real order. I want you to be our informant once I head south. The subordinate immediately bows. Understood, Master. Mir dismisses him with a small wave of his hand. Good. Dismissed. Later that evening, the mood shifts to something far more peaceful. Sisha sits quietly, finishing the tasks of the day. Mir watches her with a relaxed smile as they wind down together. Thank you for working hard today. Sisha responds modestly. I didn't do much. She shrugs slightly. It's what I do every day. Mir chuckles softly. If you put it that way, I wasted my day away today. He sighs dramatically. I'm a leech taking advantage of my clever wife. Then he rubs his neck lazily. I may be tired after all. Sisha nods lightly. I see. Mir raises a cup slightly toward her. Cheers, Sisha. I promise to work harder too. Sisha replies calmly. Please do. A little while later, the two prepare for bed. Sisha reaches for a book, but Mir immediately notices. Are you going to read? He frowns with concern. You should rest your tired eyes. Then he smiles mischievously. Why don't you focus on me instead? Sisha pauses for a moment before closing the book. Maybe I'll go to bed. As she settles down, Mir calls out softly. Sisha. Yes? His voice lowers slightly. Can I get a little closer? Sisha answers instantly. No. Mir sighs, clearly disappointed. Then. He tries again. How about a kiss? Sisha responds calmly without even looking at him. You can't sleep if you continue to talk. Then she adds firmly. Why don't you close your eyes? Mir stares at the ceiling in disbelief. All I wanted was a kiss, and she told me to shut my mouth and close my eyes. He sighs deeply to himself. We're in bed together, yet she feels so distant. His frustration grows. I definitely need a kiss, or I'll have trouble sleeping. After a moment, Sisha sighs quietly. Fine. Go ahead. Mir immediately turns toward her, eyes shining. How about a real kiss? Sisha immediately shuts that down. No thank you. Mir groans internally. Why does she put up a wall every night? He stares at the dark ceiling. I can't wait until morning comes. His thoughts turn mischievous. I'm going to kiss her to my heart's content. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the residence, Mir steps outside into the night. Someone waiting there immediately questions him. Why are you here? The guard looks confused. We can manage on our own. Mir cracks his neck slightly. I need to relieve some stress. Then he adds casually. That's one of the reasons, anyways. His expression suddenly turns cold. I'm here to send a warning. He looks directly toward the darkness. You can send as many assassins as you please. His voice becomes deadly calm. But mark my words. I'm no easy target. Moments later, one of his subordinates arrives with a report. 4 assassins total. Mir's eyes narrow sharply. Royness, you son of AB *TCH. The realization becomes crystal clear. It's crystal clear. Royness is behind the attack on Eli. His expression hardens. He's the one who wishes Medran dead. Mir clenches his fist. How dare he launch an attack right after I arrived in Chai? He scoffs coldly. What a fool. I can see right through him. Another guard approaches quickly. Where is the pervert and the others? The guard reports immediately. The pervert is on the roof. He gestures around the building. The rest are spread out, guarding you. Mir nods slightly. 2 here should be enough. Then he turns toward the hallway. I'll go check the premises. A moment later, a faint sound echoes in the corridor. Ugh! Someone groans weakly. Mir freezes for a second. His eyes move toward the door. The door. Slowly, the door creaks open. A weak voice calls out. Oh! Then the figure stares at him in shock. Your Grace. Night falls quietly, but the silence feels heavy, like something important is about to break. And tonight is one of those nights. Sisha slowly wakes, noticing the empty space beside her. Your Grace. She glances around the dim room, confused. Did he go to the bathroom? Her eyes scan the darkness. Where is he? She pauses. Then suddenly. Oh. Her eyes widen slightly. Your Grace. Memories from earlier rush back into her mind. The image of him fighting. The image of him killing. Sisha's thoughts spiral as doubt creeps in. I thought my husband was scared of insects and nurtures flowers. Her breathing grows uneven. He said he was afraid of assassins, but I saw him kill someone with my very own eyes. She shakes her head slowly, trying to deny what she saw. His Grace doesn't have the swordsmanship to harm anybody. Her voice trembles with disbelief. This must be a dream. Things like this don't happen in reality. She clutches her chest, heart racing. If not, why would he lie to me? Her thoughts begin to unravel. Why would he hide his true abilities? Everything she believed about him suddenly feels uncertain. Everything I saw couldn't have been an act. She tries to convince herself. No. Then doubt creeps back in again. Maybe. Her thoughts scatter. This makes no sense. Her mind races through endless questions. What does he have to gain through lying? Why would he do this? What is his true identity? I loved how innocent and pure he was. Her voice softens. I loved how open he was with me. A painful realization begins forming. I love that about him. Her eyes tremble slightly. Was his profession of love a lie too? She quickly shakes her head. No, it couldn't be. She remembers the moment clearly. His confession was so heartfelt. But doubt refuses to leave her. Or maybe I'm in denial, because I want it to be real. She presses her hand against her chest. What should I do? Her voice becomes fragile. I can't live without him anymore. The fear grows stronger. I don't know what I'm going to do if everything turns out to be a facade. Overwhelmed by everything she just witnessed, Sisha quietly leaves the scene without saying a single word. Perhaps it was simply too shocking for her to process. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Mir looks down at his blood-stained hands. I need to get cleaned up first. He exhales slowly, regret filling his mind. I was planning on telling Sisha everything. His expression darkens. But I was afraid. He clenches his fists. That Sisha would push me away if she found out the truth. Suddenly, a loud voice interrupts his thoughts. You're a fool, master! Mir glares toward the voice, clearly irritated. Don't mess with me. I'm not in the mood, Rennie. Rennie sniffles dramatically. What will we do without her grace? Sniff. She wipes her eyes. It's all over now. Another voice cuts in confidently. Who says it's over? Rennie turns in surprise. Our vice master. Mir mutters under his breath. Bianca. He clicks his tongue. That son of a B***tch. Bianca grins. It's not over just yet. He folds his arms. I'm going to have a talk with Sisha. Rennie hiccups through her tears. Are you going? Hiccup. To come clean? Mir nods firmly. Yes. His voice becomes determined. I'm going to tell her everything. He remembers a promise he made before. I promised not to lie again when I confessed about the bracelet. There's no turning back now. She saw me kill someone. He sighs heavily. I can't beat around the bush any longer. But the fear still lingers in his mind. What if she decides to leave? He thinks back to how she treated him before. She loved me even when I was acting like a fool. He clenches his fists again. If I show her that my intentions are true. A fragile hope flickers in his eyes. She'll probably understand. He sighs quietly. I'm grasping at straws at this point. His voice drops to a desperate whisper. Please don't take your love away. Please don't leave me, Sisha. Bianca tilts his head slightly. Did you say she'll probably understand? He shrugs casually. Well, I can't read Sisha's mind, can I? Then he bursts out laughing. You're a loser, master! He points accusingly. You didn't have to show off by killing the assassins yourself. Mir groans in frustration. I wish I could turn back time. Bianca crosses his arms thoughtfully. Are you going to tell her that you're not a bumbling fool? Then he adds the real question. What about the truth behind the rebellion? Mir nods slowly. Yes. His voice becomes serious. I can disclose everything now. He recalls the orders that forced him into hiding. Gerald prohibited me from talking about our secret mission. His expression turns grim. I had to make sure no one suspected me. So he played the role perfectly. I had to pretend that I was a fool. He laughs bitterly. And act as if I had no idea how to swing a sword, let alone hold it. But that wasn't the only lie he had to maintain. I also had to hide the fact that I was alive. His mind drifts back to a painful memory. I went to see Sisha once. His voice lowers. And was put under confinement by Gerald because of it. He pauses. It was a month after my death. Suddenly, a memory from that time resurfaces. A soldier bursts into the room urgently. Master! He bows quickly. The Knights of Lunaria found the bandits' lair. He continues the report. Our Lady is about to launch an attack against them. Mir's eyes widen with alarm. She should have just sent the knights. He slams his fist on the table. What if she gets injured? Outside, the sound of battle erupts. Hiya! A terrified scream follows. No! Mir rushes forward in shock. Dust and chaos fill the battlefield. He stares at the scene unfolding before him. Then, unable to contain himself, he shouts. Are you out of your mind? Night hangs heavy in the air as tension fills the room. The memory continues from the moment Mir rushed into the battlefield after seeing Sisha put herself in danger. Mir's voice explodes with anger the moment he sees her. Are you out of your mind? His eyes blaze with fury. How dare you go out in broad daylight? Sisha, however, stands calmly despite his outbursts. No, I'm totally fine. She shrugs slightly. Would I have come back if I'd really lost my mind? Mir clenches his jaw, clearly not satisfied with that answer. You're grounded. He gestures sharply toward her. Take a look at those eyes. His tone lowers, but the warning is clear. I hope it was your first and last time. He steps closer, his voice turning strict. If you ever go OFF course again without notifying me. He pauses before finishing the threat. You'll be off the team. But Mir suddenly sighs, his frustration melting into something softer. But I miss Sisha. He glances at Gerald with a smirk. What do you know about love, Gerald? Gerald snorts dismissively. How in the world would I know? Mir laughs knowingly. Yes, I knew you wouldn't get it. He crosses his arms. Of course you don't know a thing about love. Then he adds bluntly. You were raised by a mother abandoned by her husband. Gerald clicks his tongue in irritation. But Mir keeps talking casually. Well, you should give it a try. He grins mischievously. You'll go bonkers like me. He throws his head back with a laugh. Love really drives you up the wall. One of the nearby men mutters under his breath. I thought our master was born with a few loose screws. Gerald sighs in annoyance. You always need to get the last word in, don't you? Mir answers immediately. Yes. He smirks. It's people like you who spill their innermost secrets. Gerald suddenly narrows his eyes. Sisha Point has no idea you're alive, correct? Mir tilts his head slightly. Didn't you get my letter? Gerald folds his arms. That's the reason why I'm here. He looks directly at Mir. I thought you were acting first and explaining later, like you did with your contractual marriage. Mir sighs quietly. My answer to your letter is this. Gerald raises an eyebrow. Do you really think that would be possible? His voice grows colder. Mind your words. You may be thrown out of our secret project. He steps closer. Not a peep out of you until Coronation Day. The warning hangs heavily in the air. Everything that we worked so hard for could fall into ruins because of you. Gerald points firmly. Use the month to calm down and meditate. Mir grumbles under his breath. HRMPF. Later, after Gerald leaves, Mir mutters to himself. He left his guards to make sure I stay put. One of the men nearby looks curious. Just what did you write in the letter, for His Highness to come rushing like this? Mir sighs and answers plainly. Dear Gerald, do you mind if I tell Sisha the truth? The man freezes. Then he sighs. I can see why His Highness was so upset with you, Master. Mir glares. Shut up. His voice turns more serious as he reflects on everything. For our mission to succeed, I needed to keep mum. He lowers his gaze. So I lived as if I were dead. But his expression slowly hardens with resolve. But there's nothing that will stop me now. He clenches his fist. My only fear is that Sisha will leave me. His voice becomes quieter. I'm afraid of how she'll see me when I tell her the truth. He stares at the floor. That's what worries me the most. A painful thought crosses his mind. What if she looks at me with a look of betrayal or contempt? He exhales slowly. Even then, I don't think I could let Sisha leave me. He looks up again, determined. My revenge is complete. He sighs. I'm worried as hell, but maybe it's time I revert back to my real self. One of the men nearby begins to cry softly. Mir looks at him, confused. So there's no need for you to cry. But the man shakes his head. For the first time in my life, I don't believe you, Master. Mir smirks. Trust me. Then he adds casually. If things don't work out, I'm going to leave with Her Grace. The man nods slowly. You do that. Later that night, Mir sits quietly, deep in thought. One of the men whispers to himself. I've never seen our master look so nervous before. Meanwhile, inside the bedroom, Sisha lies awake. Her mind refuses to rest. Her thoughts circle endlessly. She saw everything. She stares into the darkness. So why isn't she saying anything about it? Suddenly, Mir notices she's awake. Weren't you sleeping? Sisha slowly sits up. How could I sleep after what I witnessed earlier? Her voice trembles slightly. I couldn't sleep, with so many thoughts were running through my head. She places a hand on her chest. I was scared that everything I knew was a lie. Her eyes lower. And that my sanctuary didn't actually exist. Her voice softens painfully. I was afraid I'd have to make the choice to set him free. She clenches the blanket tightly. I thought I may just die of a broken heart. She looks directly at him. My immediate reaction was betrayal and anger. Then her voice quiets. However, she asks the question that has been tormenting her. Why? Did you lie to me? Mir hesitates. He sighs deeply. I don't know where to start. He looks away. After all, my life has mostly been a lie. Inside his mind, fear grips him. Sisha may abandon me if she finds out the truth. His thoughts spiral. So I don't know where to begin. He struggles silently. How do I phrase it so that Sisha doesn't run away? How do I make sure she doesn't leave me? Sisha interrupts his thoughts. You said you were afraid of assassins. Her eyes narrow. You said you couldn't even kill a bug. She demands an answer. What was all that? Mir finally answers honestly. I not only kill insects but humans too. Sisha's eyes widen. Mir continues. Those people were assassins sent to kill me. Sisha repeats in shock. Assassins? Mir nods. Our butler, who was in Alia pretending to be me, was attacked. He explains further. They came for me again, when they realized I was in chair. Sisha frowns. Who would do such a thing? Mir shakes his head slightly. We're not sure yet. Then he sighs. As for my being afraid of assassins. He looks apologetic. I wasn't being completely honest. He bows his head slightly. My apologies. Sisha repeats quietly. You weren't being completely honest? Mir looks at her with sincerity. I liked you from the start, Sisha. His voice softens. And I didn't want to leave your side. Sisha remembers something and asks sharply. I heard your voice tremble. Her eyes search his face. Was that all an act? She presses further. So what's true, and what's not? She studies him carefully. Why didn't you tell me you were an expert at swordsmanship? Inside her mind, the realization grows clearer. If he is, that would explain his muscular form. She continues thinking. Aiki takes time to build that physique. A troubling thought appears. At this rate, he may have been lying about being a dimwit too. Mir exhales slowly. It's a long story. Sisha crosses her arms. I don't think I'll be sleeping anytime soon. She looks directly at him. So tell me everything. Her voice is steady. I'm all ears. Mir looks at her in surprise. Inside his mind, relief begins to grow. I'm just glad she. The memory begins with a painful question hanging in the air. Mir looks at Sisha, his voice quiet but heavy with uncertainty. Do you hate me, knowing that I have the ability to kill insects and humans too? Sisha listens calmly, her expression steady. After a brief pause, she answers honestly. I too have killed bugs and humans before. She lowers her gaze slightly, thinking carefully about what truly matters. But that's not what's important. Her eyes return to him. What's important is why he lied to me. Then she speaks with quiet certainty. You did it to avenge my death, and to save the peasants of our estate. She studies him gently. I'm sure you killed for survival, too. Her voice becomes firm. What can you do when an assassin attacks you? Mir exhales slowly. Correct. His tone grows colder as he recalls the truth. I had to kill those who got in my way. He pauses for a moment before adding. Like Royness. A heavy silence settles between them. Mir rubs the back of his neck, clearly struggling with where to begin. I don't know where to begin. He sighs. To explain my past is like taking her through an endless tunnel. Sisha folds her arms thoughtfully. You're quite clever. Then she narrows her eyes slightly. Don't try to use this as an excuse to make me work under you. She gestures toward the estate outside. I'm busy enough with the estate and my vegetable garden as it is. Mir smiles faintly. I plan on having you as my right arm. He continues confidently. You're smart and a brilliant swordsman. I can't let talent like this go to waste. But Sisha immediately refuses. No. I don't want to be bothered. She shrugs casually. I'm sure you'll be popular with the ladies of the capital. Mir flips his hair dramatically. Of course I have a pretty face. Then he sighs with exaggerated misery. Sisha shakes her head. Don't hire me as your private secretary. She adds bluntly. I don't want to go to the capital. Mir sighs again. Why was I born with such a beautiful face? Some might think he was joking. But Sisha knows the weight behind those words, especially after everything he went through. She remembers clearly. There have been many housemaids who have tried to sneak into his bed at night. She continues recalling the past. Sometimes, his relatives would go out of their way to pick a fight with him. Her voice grows quieter. He even had stalkers. Because of all that, Mir stopped stepping foot outside the family estate. He avoided gatherings where he had to show his face. Sisha tries to reassure him. The capital is a big city. She smiles softly. Not everyone will see you as just a pretty face. Mir looks skeptical. Are you sure? Sisha nods confidently. I'm positive. She adds playfully. You can come with your parents if you'd like. But Mir immediately shakes his head. No, thank you. Sisha laughs lightly. Are you sure? It will be fun. She continues encouraging him. Your parents will be there, and so will I. But Mir remains stubborn. Not interested. Sisha eventually gives up. I won't push you any further. She smiles kindly. Good luck with the entry exams for the academy. Mir grins. IT will be a piece of cake. He laughs confidently. Ha ha! Sisha nods. Looking forward to it. But fate had other plans. The next time I met Mir was after the royal ball. Only 2 days later. The bodies of Count Lunaria and his wife were found inside an upturned carriage. The news shocked everyone. The death of his parents turned Mir's life upside down. And tragedy didn't stop there. Soon after, my mother, the royal concubine, also passed away. Sisha remembers her mother well. My mother, who had always been Ilel, didn't take the deaths of the count and countess very well. I waited night and day for my parents to come home. But they never did. Still, life had to go on. The cherry tomatoes and strawberries are ripe for the picking. Sisha quietly took responsibility. I tended the gardens on mother's behalf. And eventually she accepted her fate. And now, it's up to me to take care of the estate. But behind these tragedies, there was a darker truth. Mir reveals it with cold certainty. The Emperor and Empress are behind this. He clenches his fist. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was the Empress's doing. Sisha gasps. Why would His and Her Majesty do such a thing? Mir's eyes darken. They couldn't stand the presence of my mother and I. He continues bitterly. That goes for the Lunarias, mother's maternal family. His voice grows colder. Mother has been in danger from the start. He explains the cruel truth. They made sure she became ill and caused the death of your parents. Then he laughs bitterly. And now, they're saying my mother died from sorrow. Sisha looks straight at him. Mir. Her voice becomes determined. Help me strip everything away from the Emperor and Empress. Mir raises an eyebrow. Everything? Sisha nods firmly. Yes. I mean everything. Her eyes burn with resolve. We must accumulate power in secret. She lowers her voice. We strike when they least expect it. Then she adds quietly. They won't even know that it was a rebellion. Mir looks at her thoughtfully. I heard you have quite the reputation in the underworld. She asks directly. Can you kill anybody? Mir answers calmly. Of course. Then he adds one restriction. Everyone, except for His Majesty. He explains the rule. That's the rule, as long as I'm master of the Assassin's Guild. He sighs. I don't want our guild to fall into danger. Sisha tilts her head. So you have the ability, but don't want to do it? Then she suddenly declares. Well then. Her eyes shine with determination. I want you to take me in as your apprentice. Mir blinks. I want to learn how to kill. He immediately refuses. You should go to the Knightage. His voice grows serious. We assassins live in a dirty world. But Sisha refuses to back down. I don't care. Her gaze is unwavering. I'm not looking to fight fair. She clenches her fists. I just want the ability to kill anyone I wish. Mir stares at her silently for a moment. Then he sighs. Sure. But he adds one condition. On one condition. He smirks slightly. You refer to me as your master. Just as their conversation ends, someone suddenly bursts into the scene with dramatic energy. Ha! O-M-Y. A tall man grins widely. The rumors were true. He stares at Sisha excitedly. You're as cute as a button. He claps happily. You're really pretty. Sisha blinks in confusion. Mir groans in annoyance. I'm tired. He waves dismissively. I don't need this. Suddenly. What was that? Sisha senses something strange. I feel a sense of hostility toward me. She narrows her eyes. At this rate. Before she can react. Why you? The strange man suddenly shouts dramatically. He'll have my head. Then his expression changes instantly. You're so cute. He clutches his chest dramatically. I feel butterflies in my stomach. He kneels down excitedly. Go on. Whack me again. Sisha freezes. What? The man begs enthusiastically. Hit me with those beautiful hands. I implore you. He spreads his arms. Punish me. Another assassin sighs deeply. I apologize on his behalf. He looks embarrassed. Oh, I wonder what tragedy brought this boy here. The man mutters awkwardly. Master, that's not the issue. Sisha stares at the strange man. Who the hell is that? The assassin calmly explains. Assassins hide their true identities in the form of different personalities. He gestures toward the dramatic man. Bianca here is an actor. The scene freezes like a memory. Mir Lunaria, age 11. Bianca Norrell, age 18. And so. It was the first meetup of the two men who would later lead the Assassin Guild. Bianca dramatically clutches his chest. Oh, my beloved! He cries loudly. Why did you have to leave? Mir immediately snaps. Shut up and get out of here! Bianca gasps. Dear gods! He wails dramatically. If my beloved tells me to leave, I shall leave a piece of my heart behind. Mir sighs. What a weirdo. Years pass. Mir Lunaria, age 15. He now carries 3 identities. Count, assassin, and student at the academy. One of the assassins approaches him. Mir. He speaks seriously. This is a solo mission for you. The memory continues, taking us deeper into Mir's past. At the age of 15, Mir Lunaria had already begun living 3 different lives. Account to the outside world. An assassin in the shadows. And a student at the academy during the day. One of the assassins approaches him with a serious expression. Mir. His voice is firm. This is a solo mission for you. Mir raises his head slightly. A solo mission? The assassin nods. Yes. Then he continues. The target is Royness. The name alone carries weight. Mir's expression turns cold. Royness. The assassin explains further. He is one of the Empress's most trusted men. Mir listens silently. He is also responsible for the incident that caused the death of your parents. For a moment, the world seems to stop. Mir's eyes darken. So, he was involved. The assassin nods again. Yes. Then he adds carefully. This mission is also a test. Mir tilts his head slightly. A test? The assassin explains. If you succeed, you will officially become the next master of the Assassin Guild. Silence falls. Mir slowly exhales. Understood. Later that night, Mir prepares for the mission. The dark streets are quiet as he moves silently through the shadows. Inside Royness's mansion, guards patrol the halls. But Mir slips past them effortlessly. His movements are precise. Silent. Deadly. Soon, he reaches Royness's private chamber. The door creaks slightly as Mir steps inside. Royness looks up from his desk. Who are you? Mir's voice is calm. Someone who came to collect a debt. Royness narrows his eyes. A debt? Mir's gaze turns icy. For the death of Count and Countess Lunaria. Royness suddenly stands up. You! But before he can react, Mir draws his blade. In a flash of steel, the room falls silent again. Moments later, Royness collapses to the floor. Mir wipes the blood from his sword. Mission complete. The next day, the news spreads quickly across the capital. Royness has been assassinated. Nobles whisper nervously. Who could have done such a thing? Back at the guild, the assassins gather. One of them looks at Mir with approval. You did well. Another speaks. From this day forward. He bows slightly. You are the new master of the Assassin Guild. Mir remains silent. But inside his mind, he knows this is only the beginning. The war against the Emperor and Empress has just begun. Years later. The memory fades, returning us to the present. Sisha listens quietly after hearing everything. Her eyes remain steady. So that's the truth. Mir looks at her carefully. Yes. He waits nervously for her reaction. Now you know everything. A long silence follows. Finally, Sisha speaks. Mir. Her voice is calm. I don't hate you. Mir's eyes widen slightly. Instead, Sisha says softly, I'm glad you told me the truth. Mir lowers his head. Sisha. But Sisha continues. However, her expression becomes serious. You still lied to me for a very long time. Mir nods slowly. I know. Then he says quietly. I'm sorry. Sisha sighs. You idiot. But her voice carries warmth. You should have told me earlier. Mir smiles faintly. I was afraid. Sisha crosses her arms. Afraid of what? Mir answers honestly. That you would leave me. For a moment, Sisha says nothing. Then she looks away. I see. After a short pause, she finally says, You worry too much. Mir blinks. Do I? Sisha nods. Yes. Then she adds quietly, I'm not going anywhere. Sisha stood silently after hearing the entire story. So His Majesty and His Grace joined forces for revenge. She was still trying to process everything. And His Grace became the master of the Assassin's Guild after his boss passed away? The realization slowly sank in. I can't believe His Majesty and His Grace were behind the coup. For a long time, she had sensed that something was being hidden. I always wondered what His Grace was trying to hide. Now the truth was clear. He was an assassin. Sisha remembered the moment he revealed he was a skilled swordsman. I felt betrayed when he told me that he was actually a skilled swordsman. But after hearing the full story, her feelings changed. But after hearing his story, I feel sorry for him. She looked at him quietly. Mir Lunaria gave up his entire life for revenge. He had hidden his true self for years. He was hiding his true self, and that must have killed him inside. Then Mir finally asked the question he feared the most. Are you going to leave me? He had lived a lonely and unusual life. What does he even have left after revenge? The dukedom? The land she asked him to reclaim? Or the rumors that he was a foolish dimwit? He looked at her with desperation. I only have you, Sisha. Sisha's heart trembled. Me? After everything he has done, I'm the only thing he has left. Tears filled her eyes. I'm so upset. Her voice shook. After all that, how could I be the only thing you have left? It makes me so sad. After a long silence, she spoke softly. You were going through so much. You didn't have to take me in as your wife. Mir explained quietly. The thing is, my subordinate runs the employment agency you were at. He continued. I heard you would be sold to a harem if you didn't come up with a significant amount of cash. That's why I pushed for our contractual marriage. Then he confessed something surprising. I was already in love with you then. Sisha blinked in disbelief. Why? We never talked, let alone met before then. Mir smiled gently. I know we didn't talk, but I fell for you anyway. He began listing the things he admired about her. I like many things about you, Sisha. He remembered the first impression she made. At first, you piqued my interest. I had never met a noble lady who could swear like a sailor. Sisha couldn't help remembering those moments. Screw them. Who do they think they are? Mir chuckled softly. After that, I could see how hardworking you were. I saw you raise money by helping other students with their schoolwork. He paused thoughtfully. It reminded me of my days as an assassin, getting paid per project. He realized something important back then. Your life was a constant battle, just like mine. It was interesting to see myself in someone else. Then he admitted the truth. And I didn't feel lonely anymore. He never expected someone to change him this way. I never thought someone would make me feel this way. But when he looked at Sisha, I started to realize that I had indeed been lonely. Sisha told me what loneliness felt like. And with her, I was no longer alone. At first, he was satisfied simply watching her from afar. I was content watching her from afar. But eventually, that wasn't enough. How would it feel if she were looking at me too? Slowly, he began to want more. I found solace in you, Sisha. Sisha looked at him carefully. Is there anything else I need to know? Mir hesitated. Sisha. Then he asked quietly. Are you going to use the bracelet to break out of our contract? His voice trembled slightly. Are you going to leave me? Are you going to take everything back? He reminded her of everything she had said before. You said you loved me. You stayed in our contractual marriage and kissed me. You said you'd protect me? Sisha lowered her gaze. I'm sorry. I professed my love for you, but I continued to lie to you. Then she spoke sincerely. But I hope you know that my love for you is real. I was true to my emotions. Mir struggled to find words. I. His mind went blank. I don't know what to say to make her stay. Assassinating criminals had always been easy for him. But now, I had no trouble when it came to assassinating lowlives. But when my entire life is on the line, I can't think of a single thing to say. Finally, he pleaded. Please don't leave. Sisha gently replied. I know your feelings toward me were real. She stepped closer. From now on, you can be your real self in front of me. Mir hesitated. I would love to, but I'm worried that it may turn you off. What if I scare you away? She frowned. Were you planning to pretend forever? No, I was meaning to tell you the truth. She sighed. You're such a fool. Then she smiled warmly. I love you too much to let you go. She continued softly. I'm sure it was difficult to ask me to stay. Thank you, Mir. She admitted honestly. If it weren't for you, I would be at a harem right now. Or I would have been treated like a slave by my family. Mir looked at her seriously. Sisha, I'm no fool. Nor am I innocent to a fault. Then he asked again. Do you still love me? Sisha thought about the truth. He's nothing like his fake persona. He's sharp-witted, with a cruel streak. Innocence? He lost that long ago. But she smiled gently. I liked your innocence because it was a part of who you are. Because it was you. Then she added playfully. Still, you must pay the price for lying. You lied for reasons other than your revenge. Mir blinked. What do you mean? Sisha suddenly said. Let's place a curtain on the bed. Mir tilted his head. She explained calmly. I don't know what may happen if you attempt to roll over to my side. Mir smirked. What can be done in bed, except that? He whispered excitedly. I can't wait. Sisha warned him firmly. You must never lie to me again. I promise to always be candid with you. Then she quickly added. Candid to a certain extent, please. Mir chuckled. But I like going overboard. Is that so? Sisha crossed her arms. I'll get the funds needed to break out of our contract. No. Mir immediately panicked. I promise to refrain from here onward. Sisha laughed softly. I'm on your side, Mir. No more keeping secrets from me. You must tell me if something's wrong. And don't disappear without telling me where you're going. Mir nodded. All right. Then he spoke seriously. If you have to leave me after telling me to stay. His eyes darkened. I'll destroy everything that gets in our way. Sisha looked at him calmly. I trust you. Then she said gently. Try to get some rest until noon. But suddenly she realized something. Wait a minute, Your Grace. I told you not to go overboard. Mir shrugged. That's why I stopped after the first kiss. Sisha stared at him. Stop midway is more like it. She pointed at him. This is one kiss. That he stopped midway? Mir smirked mischievously. How about I show you what I mean when I go overboard? Sisha panicked. Oh, let's sleep. We need to rest if we want to be proficient tomorrow. Mir chuckled. I forgot. Since I mostly work at night. But for a good girl like yourself, it's past bedtime, right? Sisha frowned. Don't treat me like a child. You're only a year older than me. Mir replied calmly. I never saw you as a child. I would never do this with a child. Sisha stared at him carefully. Is this the real you? Mir smiled. I was always myself in front of you. And stop referring to me as Your Grace. Sisha covered her face in embarrassment. Stop talking and go to bed. Then she corrected herself awkwardly. Close the curtains, Your Grace. I mean, Mir. Mir laughed quietly. She's driving me crazy. She's so cute. But elsewhere, a group of assassins reported their failure. Master, we failed. Everyone is dead. The leader frowned. Were they not capable enough? They were very skilled. Then the assassin added bitterly. Especially the silver-haired dimwit that was our target. The leader clenched his fist. He gets on my nerves. Then he whispered the name with cold hatred. Mir Lunaria.